You're just trying to do your job. Keeping a bustling office building safe. When suddenly, a whirlwind of entitlement storms in, demanding the world bow to her whims. That's exactly what happened to Mike Thompson, a seasoned security guard at Apex Towers in downtown Chicago. But oh boy, did karma have a bark louder than her bite, literally. Mike sighed deeply. The kind of sigh that carries the weight of 1,000 petty complaints. It was another crisp autumn morning. The air thick with the scent of fresh coffee from the lobby cafe and the distant hum of city traffic. He'd been on shift since dawn, his boots echoing softly on the polished marble floors as he patrolled the halls. Little did he know, today would test his patience like never before. Enter Brenda Hargrove. No. Wait. Let's call her the queen of complaints herself. Brenda was the type of client who thought the world revolved around her shiny new Mercedes and her endless list of demands. She leased the top-floor suite for her boutique consulting firm. And from day one, she'd been a thorn in everyone's side. Why isn't the elevator faster? How dare the cleaning crew vacuum during my calls, she'd screech into the intercom. But her real obsession? The building's alarm system. Every tiny beep. Every false trigger from a slammed door or a flickering light. And she'd be on the phone, insisting on a full investigation. Call the authorities. This is a breach, she'd demand, her voice piercing like a siren itself. Mike rubbed his temples, feeling the familiar throb of a headache building. How many times had he explained that not every alarm warranted a SWAT team? Ma'am, it's just a sensor glitch, he'd say calmly. But Brenda wouldn't hear it. She thrived on the drama, the power trip of making underpaid staff jump through hoops. And today, it escalated. It started innocently enough, or so it seemed. Mike was in the control room, monitoring the feeds, when the fire alarm in the parking garage blared to life. Whoop whoop whoop. The sharp, insistent wail cut through the building like a knife. Employees grumbled as they filed out for the drill. Wait. Was it a drill? Mike checked the panel. No smoke. No heat signatures. False alarm. Again. But Brenda? Oh. She was furious, storming into the lobby in her designer heels clicking like gunfire on the tile. She cornered Mike at his desk. This is the third time this week. I demand you call the fire department right now. And the police. What if it's arson? My car is down there. Her face flushed red, veins popping on her neck, spittle flying as she jabbed a manicured finger at him. Mike took a slow breath, inhaling the faint metallic tang of the alarm system's wiring nearby. MS. Hargrove. We've checked. It's a faulty sensor. We're fixing it. But she wasn't having it. Do you know who I am? I pay top dollar for this place. Call them. Or I'll have your job, she bellowed, her voice echoing off the glass walls, drawing stares from passers-by. Why do some people think money buys them the right to bully? Mike wondered, his heart rate picking up. He'd dealt with entitled folks before. But Brenda was on another level. Twist of fate, unbeknownst to her. The building had just upgraded security. Enter Rex, the German Shepherd K9 unit, trained for high-threat scenarios. Mike's partner, Officer Lisa Ramirez, handled Rex, and they were on site for a routine check that day. As Brenda's tirade continued, she decided to take matters into her own hands. Grabbing her keys, she marched to the parking garage, muttering about incompetence. Mike followed, radioing Lisa, we got a situation. Clients escalating. The garage smelled of exhaust and rubber, the fluorescent lights buzzing overhead like angry bees. Brenda reached her car. And in her rage, get this, she slammed the door so hard it triggered yet another alarm. Her own car alarm. Honk honk honk. Blasting through the concrete cavern. Now, the building's protocol kicked in. Multiple alarms. Potential threat. Lisa arrived with Rex. The dog's paws patting softly but purposefully on the cold floor. Rex's ears perked up. His nose twitching at the scents, Brenda's expensive perfume mixed with the acrid bite of car fumes. Ms. Hargrove. Step away from the vehicle, Mike commanded. His voice steady but firm. Brenda whirled around. Eyes widening at the sight of Rex. What is this? A dog? You're sicking a mud on me now. I demand to speak to your supervisor, she shrieked. But her bravado cracked as Rex let out a low, guttural growl. Jurr. The sound reverberated, sending chills down even Mike's spine. Though he knew Rex was under control, Lisa held the leash tight. Rex's muscles rippling under his sleek black and tan coat. Ma'am. This is standard procedure for repeated alarms. We need to inspect your car. Brenda backed up, her heels scraping the ground. Face paling. You can't do this. This is harassment. But oh. The irony, the inspection revealed something unexpected. Twist alert, in her haste. Brenda had left confidential client files scattered in the back seat. Some with sensitive data exposed. Not just any data, turns out. Her consulting involved shady dealings. Like falsifying reports for tax evasion. The alarms? She'd been tampering with sensors to create distractions. Covering her tracks while sneaking out documents. Mike's jaw dropped. What the, he muttered. The realization hitting like a punch. Rex sniffed the air. Barking sharply, woof woof, alerting to something off. Lisa called it in, we need backup. Possible fraud in progress. Brenda's world crumbled. This is absurd. You have no right, she protested. But her voice wavered. A tremble betraying her fear. The police arrived. Sirens wailing in the distance. Growing louder until they filled the garage with flashing blue and red lights. Officers reviewed the footage, Brenda disabling a sensor earlier that week. Caught on cam. Karma. Right? Her demands for calls on every alarm. Well. Now the calls were for her. As they cuffed her, click click, the metallic snap echoing, Brenda's entitlement deflated like a punctured tire. How could this happen to me, she whimpered. Tears streaking her makeup. Rex sat obediently. Tail wagging slightly. As if sensing justice served. Mike exhaled a long, relieved breath. The tension melting away like morning fog. But let's dive deeper into Mike's side. He'd been in security for 15 years. Starting as a night watchman after leaving the military. The job wasn't glamorous, long hours. Low pay, but it gave him purpose. Protecting people. Ensuring safety. Brenda's constant harassment. It wore him down. Nights he'd go home. The echo of her complaints ringing in his ears. Making him question if it was worth it. Why bother, he'd sigh to his wife over dinner. The aroma of homemade lasagna offering brief comfort. Yet. Moments like this reminded him why. The building's residents cheered as Brenda was led away, claps and whoops filling the lobby. Finally, one tenant exclaimed. Lisa patted Rex's head. The dog panting happily. Tongue lolling out. Good boy, she whispered. The warmth of pride in her voice. The investigation unfolded over the next weeks. Brenda's firm. Shut down. Clients sued for the fraud. She faced charges, tampering with security systems. Data theft. The court date? A spectacle. Mike testified. His words steady, she demanded calls for every alarm. But ignored the real warnings. The judge's gavel banged, thud, sealing her fate, probation. Fines. Community service. Bitter end for the entitled one. And the twist? During the trial. Evidence showed Brenda had a history, previous jobs where she'd bullied staff until they quit. But here. She met her match in Mike. Lisa. And Rex. Who knew a dog would be the hero? Mike chuckled later, sharing the story over coffee with colleagues. The scent of victory lingered. In the end, this tale isn't just about one Karen's downfall. It's a reminder, entitlement might scream loud, but respect whispers stronger. Treat people right, or karma might just bite back, with teeth. What if we all paused before demanding the world? Imagine the peace. Mike returned to his shifts. A spring in his step. The building quieter. Safer. Justice served. One bark at a time. Now, let's expand on the build-up. Remember that first alarm? It wasn't random. Brenda had been plotting for months. Her business was crumbling, debts piling up like autumn leaves. She needed a distraction to smuggle out those files. Tampering with alarms? Genius, she thought. But hubris blinds. Each call she forced Mike to make. It logged her complaints, creating a paper trail that doomed her. Mike, meanwhile, battled his own demons. Flashbacks from his army days, sirens meaning real danger. Not petty gripes. Brenda's demands triggered that stress. His heart pounding like war drums. Deep breaths, he'd tell himself. Feeling the cool desk under his palms. Lisa noticed. Offering support, we got this. Mike. Their bond. Forged in these fires. Rex? More than a dog, a lifesaver. Trained to detect anomalies. His keen senses picked up Brenda's nervousness, the sweat. The lies. That growl. Not aggression. But instinct. He's got a nose for trouble, Lisa joked. The lightness easing the tension. As Brenda sat in her cell that first night. The silence deafening, no alarms. No demands. Regret? Maybe. What have I done, she whispered to the cold walls. But change? Doubtful. Some learn. Others don't. The community rallied. Apex Towers implemented better protocols. Honoring Mike with a plaque. Guardian of the Gates, it read. Gleaming under lobby lights. Residents baked cookies, chocolate chip. Warm and gooey, thanking the team. Rex got treats. Of course. Crunching happily. Informational aside, K9 units like Rex are vital in security. Trained for years. They deter threats with presence alone. Brenda's confrontation. Textbook example of why they're deployed. Twist upon twist, post-arrest. Brenda tried suing for emotional distress from the dog. Laughable. The case dismissed with prejudice, bang, the judge quipping. Next time. Don't poke the bear, or the shepherd. Mike's life improved. Promotion. Better hours. He mentored new guards, patience wins. Always. Lisa and Rex. Inseparable. Patrolling with renewed vigor. So, what's the takeaway? In a world of Karens, be the Mike. Stand firm. Let actions speak. Karma's patient, but precise. And hey, if you hear a bark, it might just be justice calling. Reflecting back. That autumn morning, transformed from mundane to memorable. The city's hustle continued. But at Apex Towers, harmony reigned. No more false alarms, well, mostly. And Brenda, last seen serving community hours. Picking up litter. Poetic. Right? The entitled client. Brought low by her own demands. Inspiring. Isn't it? Respect the guardians, the Mikes. Lisa's. Rex's. They keep us safe. Next time you feel entitled. Pause. Ask, is this worth the bite? Life's too short for unnecessary drama. Embrace empathy. Reap the rewards.